page 3 if you have the little booklets, or on page 11 in the red Siddur. And if you didn't get either, we have more at the front.
כי אל גדול אדוני ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים אשר בידו מחקרי ארץ ותועפות הרים לו אשר לא הים והוא עשהו ויבשת ידיו יצרו בו נשתחווה ונכרע נברכה לפני אדוני עושנו כי הוא אלוהינו ואנחנו אמר איתו בצאן ידו היום אם בקולו תשמעו אל תקשו לבבכם כי מריבה כיום מסע במדבר אשר ניסוני אבותיכם דחנו לגמרי ובעלי 40 שנה אקוד בדור ואומר המתו אל לבבם והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי ביופי אם יבואו אל מנוחתי שירו לאדוני שיר חדש שירו לאדוני כל שירו לאדוני בסרו מיום יום ישועתו ספרו בגויים בכל העמים כי גדול אדוני כלל ביום נורא הכל אלוהים יכול אלוהי עמים אלוהים ואדוני שמיים עשה עוד לאדם עוד ותפארת נבו לאדוני משפחות עמים נבו לאדוני כבוד לבב נבו לאדוני שאו מנחה וברך השתחוו לאדוני שימו מפניו יאמרו בגויים אדוני מלך עבדי כותב על פיו ידי נמים וישמחו השמיים ירא המים יעלו שדי וכל השמיים אז ירננו כל הצייה לפני אדוני.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. It's so nice to be here, see all of you. I want to extend special welcome to our tribe folks, our 20s and 30s group who had our first happy hour of the year tonight, and many new faces came. So welcome to you. Welcome if it's your first time to IKAR, your first time back after a long time to our Kabbalat Shabbat. And it's just nice to be here. I always look forward to Shabbat because we get to sing with people. We get to sing and hear other voices. And for me, I know that singing connects me to all of you and to one another, but also it awakens something in me. It awakens part of my soul that I think is dormant all week. Now, the Piasetzner Rebbe, the 20th century Hasidic master, said the soul manifests itself through music. The feelings that come up as you sing are sparks and stirrings of the soul. And so I invite you into this song tonight, whether you know the words, whether this is your first time and you're humming along. I invite you into the song and to see where it takes you, to see where your soul, what it brings out from your soul and what it strikes within you as we sing together. So we're on page 15 in our red book. We're on page 5 in our mini Siddur here, and I just invite you to sing and join us in song tonight.
Adonai malach tagel haaretz yishmechu im rabim anan v'arafel sevivav tzedek u'mishpat mechon kisho esh lefanav terech utlat tzaviv tzara. We're going to do a call and response, which is right in the middle of page 5, the bold-faced part, Shama Abba Tismach. So if you don't know this, you can pick up by following the davening team. I chant, they respond. It's fun. Shama, Shama, Vatismach Zion, Vatagel, Vatagel, together. Leman Bishmatecha, Bishmatecha, Adonai. Once again, Shama, Shama, Vatismach Zion, Vatagel, Vatagel, זרוע לצדיק ולשרי לב שמחה שמחו צדיקים באדוני והודו לזכר קודשו. מזמור שיר לאדוני שיר חדש כי נפלאות עשה.
We're on page 6 and the small booklets are 17.
Yiram hayam mulon tevel veyos bevar niyarot yimcha ucha yachad harim yeranenu lifnei Adonai keva nishpat.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
One of the things that we talk about a lot on Shabbat is that God created the world for 6 days, and then on the 6th day rested, and so too we rest. And in this service we're in right now, Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming in of Shabbat, we have 6 psalms that replicate in some way those 6 days of creation leading into Shabbat. And this next psalm is the 5th psalm of all of those, and many of these psalms use language of the natural world, which maybe makes sense because we're talking about all of God's creation, and we get mention of mountain crests and sheep and heavens and land and meadows and clouds and lightning, and then we get to this next psalm, Psalm 99, and in our congregation, our tradition is to sing these last 2 lines of this psalm, and those lines are as follows: Romamu Adonai Eloheinu, exalt God, our God, v'hishtachavu lahar kodsho, and bow at God's mountain, Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, because our God is holy. And in some ways, that language does feel similar to the rest of the Psalms. We do have bowing at God's mountain, so there's some sense of the natural world, but then we also hear something about God's holiness. And what does that mean here? What kind of God's holiness are we reckoning with here? And if we look back up earlier in the Psalm, in one of the earlier verses, we see the following phrase, Ve'oz melech mishpat ahev. The power, the strength of God. It's kind of a strange phrase. No one's totally sure how to understand it. But something like the strength of God is that God loves justice. That maybe that's God's holiness here. God loves justice. God fights for justice. And right after that phrase, we get Ata konanta mesharim. You also established the truth. You fought for paths of truth. You forged paths of truth, of righteousness. And not only now do we understand that we're recognizing in Kabbalat Shabbat the creation of the world and all of that work that God did, but God also did other work in those 6 days. God also does other work during the week. And some of that work is the work of justice. God works towards justice during the week. God works toward ensuring these paths of truth during the week, and then on Shabbat, God rests. And ideally, so do we. Ideally, we also fight for justice during the week, and then we rest on Shabbat. We go back to that last line now, Romamu Adonai Eloheinu Vehishtachavu. All of this, exalt God, celebrate God, bask in the joy and the rest of Shabbat, because God is holy. God's work in the week is holy. God's work of creation is holy. God's forging of paths of truth is holy. God's love of justice is holy. And hopefully ours is too. Psalm 99 is on page 15 in our Siddur and page 5. Oh, I got them wrong. Page 19 in our Siddur, page 7 in the mini booklet.
Adonai malach yirgizu amim yoshev keruvim tanu taret Adonai b'tzion gadol ramnu al kol amim.
to turn to Psalm 29, and we invite you to please rise in whatever way you're comfortable or able. We're on page 8 in the little Siddur and page 21 in the large one.
Mizmor David, Adonai, B'nei Eli, Adonai, השתחוו לאדוני והדקה
All right. You know what I'm thinking about? I'm just thinking about Jewish joy, right? Like, we're talking about anti-Semitism tomorrow. I mean, there's so much on our hearts. I'm just thinking about Jewish joy tonight. And it just feels good to sing and just fill ourselves up with a little bit of joy. I'm going to invite you to turn to L'Chadadi on page 9, page 23 in the Siddur.
Let's do another call and response. This is a melody from Salonika, Northern Mediterranean Sephardic thing, and we, the davening team, will do the call for the chorus. L'Chadadi, you guys just repeat it exactly, and the verse we'll sing together. It's the same melody for both. L'Chadadi likrat kala v'le Shabbat lekabela.
L'Chadadi likrat kala v'le Shabbat lekabela.
Shamor v'zachor b'diburecha ishmiyanu el hamyuchad Manana echad u'shmo echad לשם ותפארת ונתינה, לך דודי לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקרא בלה. לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקרא בלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם ושמחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, ומצאי מתוך ההפכה, רבת שלט ומקבך, והוא יחמול עלייך אימה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מהפרקומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי, היד מנישבד הלכני, קורבה אל נפשי גאלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בורא כל יורי, אורי שיר דברי, ובוא אדוני עלייך נקרא. לך דודי לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. דודי לקרא כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. ניי יא יא יא, ניי יא יא יא, ניי יא יא יא, ניי יא יא יא, מיי יא יא יא, לא תבושי ולא תקומי, מה תשכחי ומה תבקשי, אני אביב ואני בצער אותימה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. מי היו עם שישה סוסים ורחקו, אומר עלייך יסיס עלייך, דלא הייתי משוש חתן הכלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי לקראת קלה, בני שבת, לקבלה, לחדודי, לקראת קלה, בני שבת, לקבלה, מורי ושלום, עטרת עליו גם בשמחה ובצום. Gola, boi chala, lecha dodi, bikrat kala, bele Shabbat, mekabela, lecha dodi, bikrat kala.
Are Susan and Marvin here? I don't see you, I'm sorry. Hey, so it is our custom after Lechadodi to officially, as a community, welcome into a space those who are grieving the death of a loved one who've just experienced a very recent loss in the last week. And so I want to welcome Susan and Marvin back into community tonight. The laws of mourning are temporarily suspended on Shabbat. And even still, our rabbis felt it might be a little too much to be here for Lechadodi. It's like a little too much joy and clashing consciousness for a mourner. And so right after singing Lechadodi, we turn and welcome our mourners, and Susan is grieving the death of your mother, Lillian. And I'm so sorry for this loss, Susan, and I hope her memory is always a blessing for you. And I'm going to invite us to say the words of consolation, the words when we have no words, which are on the bottom of page 10, also on page 26 in the Siddur. Hamakom yinachem etchem b'toch sha'ar avelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the Holy One bring you comfort among all of the brokenhearted of our people and all people, and may your mother's memory always be a blessing.
Amen.
We're going to turn now to page 11, which is also page 27.
מזמור שיר לאדוני, יום שבת טוב להודות לאדוני, וזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. להתלבש. לבש אדוני עושית זרעתי קונטה בלבלתנו, נכון כי שכר מיוזמייתה, לעולמה אתה נשאו נרות אדוני, נשאו נרות קולם, יישאו נרות תוך ים מקולות מים רבים. עדותיך נאמנו מאוד, לביתך לבא קודש. עדותיך נאמנו מאוד, לביתך לבא
now for Mourner's Kaddish, Kadisha Tom. I want to invite you, if you're grieving the death of a loved one, or if you're observing the yahrzeit of a death, the anniversary of a death of a loved one, to please rise and you'll join us for Mourner's Kaddish. It's 13 and 30.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, וילמד יברך גאותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה ברכו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעולמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה משמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen.
Amen. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Welcome, everyone. It's so good. It's so good to be together. So tonight is a special Shabbat because we are honoring our amazing volunteers here at IKAR. So can you just give a wave if you're one of our people who's being honored in some way tonight? All right, check this out. Oh, it's so good. Thank you. We're going to hear more from our volunteers later tonight. But I want to just tell you, I came across this interesting debate, machloket, in the Talmud in Masachet Sukkah, a tractate of Talmud called Sukkah. And the question is, what is actually better? Is it better to give tzedakah or to volunteer in engaging in acts of love? Gemilut chasadim. Is it better to give tzedakah, to give of your resources, your financial resources especially, to help those who are in need, or is it better to engage in Gemilut Chasadim, acts of love, which we might call volunteering? So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. We've so many new people tonight. It's so great. By the way, we're rebuilding Kabbalat Shabbat since COVID, right? We were doing this on the screen, and now we're back in person. So I feel like anything you do tonight could become like the ritual that sticks at IKAR. And we're like, remember when that guy did that thing that night? And now we do it 30 years later. So I just want to invite you to fully live into that opportunity tonight, any way you can. What I want to do is invite you to turn to somebody who's near you, preferably somebody that you don't know, although feel free to say hello to your loved ones too. Introduce yourselves, and I just want to ask you to say, which do you think is actually better, tzedakah or chesed? Is it better to give cash, or is it better to give love? Talk amongst yourselves. And why? And why, obviously. All right, I'm going to pull us back in, mostly because we're going to all be at dinner together, so we'll be able to continue this conversation over dinner. So let's come back together. So, I mean, just by show of hands, how many here vote for tzedakah? Tzedakah. Okay, literally not one. Dr. Annette Gottlieb and RBZ votes twice for tzedakah. Okay, and how many? Oh, and Wendy? Okay, great. Oh. Okay, oh, we got a couple. We got. Hold on, I didn't ask for that. No, we'll come there. Okay, a couple. We've got a few folks who vote for tzedakah. Can one of you tell me why? Anyone want to jump out into this? Why is tzedakah preferable? Oh, okay, that's so great. So in Rambam's hierarchical assessment of what the best way is to give, the highest form of giving tzedakah is to give anonymously, where both the giver is anonymous and the receiver is anonymous. So something wonderful has come to you, but you don't feel beholden to anybody, right? Or you're able to give something wonderful, but you never expect something back because that person doesn't even know. And maybe with acts of love, it can't be so anonymous, right? Because the whole nature of love is that you're making someone not anonymous. And so thank you for that. That's great. What? Okay. So the idea is maybe there are ways of volunteering, of giving of yourself in a loving way that's also anonymous. And so would that also be the higher form? And I actually want to leave that question open because I'm not sure if the highest form of chesed would be an anonymous form or if it would invert the hierarchy of tzedakah. And maybe it's better for tzedakah to be anonymous, but it's actually better for chesed not to be. I don't know. Let's argue over dinner. Who voted for chesed? Who voted that love was greater? Okay. Is that just because you want Hillel to sing All You Need Is Love? Is that why? I know you. What? Okay, and how many people said yes and? These are the rule breakers because the task was one or the other, but I mean, obviously it's a yes and. I'll just tell you what it says in the Gemara. Anyone curious?
Yes.
So in the Gemara, it says, yes and. It says, "B'shosha divarim gedola gemilut chasadim yoter min tzedakah." There are three ways in which love is actually better than tzedakah. Tzedakah b'mamonah. Tzedakah you give from your money or your financial resource. Gemilut chasadim bein begufo bein b'mamono. You can give love from your body or from your money. So it obviously is superior because you can do it in either way. Tzedakah la'ani'im, you can give tzedakah to only people who are really in need, in financial need. But gemilut chasadim, you could give to poor people, and you can also give to people who are wealthy because guess what? They also need love. And tzedakah l'chaim v'gemilut chasadim bein l'chaim bein l'mitim. So when you're giving tzedakah, you can only give tzedakah to people who are alive. But gemilut chasadim you can give to people who are alive and also to the dead. And does anyone know how you can give gemilut chasadim to the dead? Some of you do, because we have this incredible Chavra Kadisha at IKAR, which is this holy group of people whose sole job is to give dignity and give love to the people who've died. So those are all compelling arguments, but ultimately, obviously, I fall with the yes and, as we almost always do whenever there's a question that seems too binary, because you know what? Now society's just catching on to what seems to have been obvious thousands of years ago, which is like, really, it's so binary? I mean, you know, isn't the world a little bit more complex than that? And so I wanna just invite us into this conversation to think of the ways that we give of ourselves, and what does it mean to give both financially and also to give of our hearts, to give both to people who are in financial need, to people who are struggling and suffering financially, but also to give to people who might have every last material thing they need, but they need something different from us. They need a different kind of love and support, and also to be able to give to the living and also to the dead. And hopefully, in this way, it will lead us all into more giving, both of our resources and also of our time and of our hearts. So we're going to honor more tonight, but I wanted to just lift that up for us as we go into Mariv together this evening. We're going to turn to page 14 in the little Sidurim and page 39 in the big ones. And we invite you to please rise, whatever way is comfortable for you. We're going to face east for Baruch Hu.
Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'yolam
Baruch
va'ed.
Adonai HaMevorach le'olam voed.
You can have seats. Continue on 39 or 14.
El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam voed. Baruch Adonai Amari v'rabim. Na'avad olam beit Yisrael
Page
Amcha.
40 and page 15 of Adulam.
Ne'avatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Shema. המזוז ביתך וישערך ויען. Adonai Elohechem emet, ya, 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 אתה אדוני את יעקב וגולו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל.
Hashki Venu, a prayer for peace, page 45 and page 19.
נשכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום ויעמידנו מלכנו לחיים ברוך אתה אדוני הבורא סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל כל יושבי תל ועל ירושלים
Please rise. Page 46, page 20.
את השבת לעשות את השבת לתורתם ברית עולם.
איי 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 ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השני שבת
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו וילמד יברח קירותי וימליך מלכותי וחייכון ויומכון וחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו אמן.
יהי שמי רבו מבורך לעולם לעולמי עולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר יתרומם ויתנשא
ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודש בריחו נאמן מכל ברכתה ושירתה ושמחתה ונחמתה למירה בעלמא ואמרו אמן
ואמרו 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 אמן. יא לה 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 לה
We'll go into the silent Amidah now. You can find it on the words of the Siddur on page 47 or page 21, or you could just use the words in your heart tonight.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו
אמן.
ויעלמה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי וחייכון וביום יחון וחיי לכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יש מרבו מבורך לעולם 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 יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שם בית קודשה לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה ואמירה מעלמה והיא מרובים התקבל צדקון ורצון בכל ישראל קדם אברהם וישמעיה ויאמרו אמן אמן ושמע רבה משמעיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן ועושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל
Kiddush together over dinner, and so we will conclude with Aleinu, page 56 in our Siddur, page 27 in the booklet.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל התן גדולה יוצר בראשית שלא עשנו כרצון ולא שמנו כמשפחת אדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגאול עלינו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך והשבותה אל לבביך
Kaddish Yatom is on page 29, page 58 in the Red Siddur.
ויתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. אמן. וילמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון וחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו.
אמן.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ומיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן באומה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה משמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Amen. All right, Shabbat Shalom. In just a moment, as we finish up, we're going to invite everybody to make their way over to the other side. If for those who can, if you can grab a chair or two and bring them over to the tables, that would be great. Don't worry if you didn't sign up for dinner. Everybody's welcome. I hope you'll join us. We're going to be hearing, first we'll eat delicious food, then we're going to be hearing from some of our lead volunteers in the community, and we're just so grateful. We got such an amazing force for good in this community, and so we'd love to hear a little bit about your story and your experience. So we invite folks to join us there. Tomorrow morning we will have Shabbat morning davening here at 9:30. India Gendel Gendel becomes a bat mitzvah tomorrow morning, and we're excited to be able to celebrate that together. And finally, there are tons of things going on. You'll check the email. We're not going to do a half hour of announcements right now, like I will tomorrow. But I just want to say, for those who are new, and I think I feel like we're all a little bit new right now, because even those who are here all the time, we're not in a rhythm yet. But I welcome you, and I just want to say what we said for every single Shabbos. Ross will remember this well, for the first 7 to 10 years, which is, this is a muscle. And so when you work this muscle, it works just the same way as our physical muscles. It's our spiritual muscle. And if it feels a little unfamiliar at first, it's okay. But just keep going, keep coming. And I used to say, if you come for 3 months, you own it for the rest of your life. And I think that that's true. So I just want to invite you to let these sounds of Shabbat and the spirit of Shabbat and the feel of Shabbat just become part of your week. And it will soon, I believe, become the most beautiful part of your week, like it is for so many of us. So I'm going to invite us to please rise however you're able. We're going to close with a blessing tonight. And then we'll make our way over to the other side. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotinu ve'imotinu. God, thank you for the gift of Jewish joy tonight. Thank you, after several weeks of spinning in circles around the language that other people use to describe the Jews, for giving us a chance to define for ourselves who the Jews are. And who we can be. Thank you for the gift of this reminder that we must live our lives both oriented toward how we can give tzedakah and how we can give chesed, how we can open our hearts to those who are in greatest need. Thank you for reminding us of the power of harmony. When we bring our voices together, we can create something truly holy in the world, and that is true with song, and that's true with protest, and that's true with love. And thank you most of all for reminding us that even amidst all of this joy, there are always people whose hearts are broken, to our left and to our right, in front of us and behind us, and our job as human beings is to walk on a sacred path of love and connection, to find our way to one another again and again and again. We ask that you bless this community with sacred rest on this Shabbat, so that we might come out of this holy day even fiercer in our commitment to build a world of justice for all people. Or for you are the source of life, and in your light we are all bathed in light. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
When I die and I lay me to rest, wanna go to the place that's the best. When they lay me down to die, they're gonna lift me up to the spit in the sky. Oh, lift me up to the spit in the sky. That's where I wanna go when I die. And I die. They lay me to rest. I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. Take me up to the spit in the sky. When I die, go to
Here, Kurt. Yeah, we both get. I just didn't have time to put it on. Because what happens? You break little blood vessels in your hand.
I desperately want to learn how to drum because I just like banging things on beat.
It's a good reason to drum. Yeah, that's a problem. Well, it's unfortunately reality for us because we can be out somewhere
Okay, just to clarify, this is it's all vegetarian. It's a obviously Thanksgiving themed meal tonight because this is a Thanks for Giving themed evening. So thanks for giving of your time and your heart and your love. But everything is vegetarian or vegan, so no worries, folks. And with huge gratitude to Marina and the whole team from Del Cielo for preparing tonight, we thank you. Hello. Hello. Hi. Okay. In 2 minutes, we're going to hear from a couple of our lead volunteers. So finish your sentences, your thoughts, and we're going to come back together in just 2 minutes. It's brief tonight, but super sweet. And then there's dessert. Maybe I counted wrong. See what you get. Okay. Hi, everyone. So, let's sing. Try that with me. All right. So we're going to hear tonight from 4 of our volunteers. Though we are honoring tonight many, many more. These 4 are just representative, and we tried to identify people who represent different kinds of the work that we do here. And so, first of all, I want to start, and I don't see all of you, but I think you're all in the room, with Dr. Barbara Dalton-Taylor. Dr. Barbara Dalton-Taylor is the Rosh of the Roshim, if you know what I mean. She is the boss of the bosses of the volunteers. She has been absolutely instrumental in coordinating all of our High Holy Day volunteers, not just this year, but really for many, many years. And this is our biggest and most challenging experience of the entire year. Barbara, will you tell us how many volunteers we have during High Holy Days, during the course of High Holy Days, or Andrea? 300 volunteers. And Barbara Dalton-Taylor is the person who's coordinating all of them, along with her husband, Mark, who have been beloved members of our community for so many years. Andrea and Svi were both new to High Holy Days this year. And so Mark and Barbara really helped them and helped all of us navigate all of our volunteers every single step of the day of the way. They do it with incredible love, with incredible efficiency, and with great care for not only the overall outcome, which is a really extraordinary High Holy Days, but for every single individual who's involved. And we're so deeply grateful to you, Barbara. We want to invite you to come on up and share your words with us tonight. Come on.
There's a little exaggeration in there. My husband, Mark Taylor, is part of the team here. So I'm speaking really on behalf of both of us. I didn't realize how strongly I would feel tonight. Thank you. Thank you. It was a really huge piece of fabric, something only a resourceful creative like Sam Hutman could come up with, to do its part in transforming the tired JCC gymnasium walls into a sanctuary for IKAR's first High Holidays. Now, I can't remember how that fabric got hung. But I remember there were lots of hands involved. Lots of ladders climbed. Ross is shaking his head. Lots of advice given. Lots of chairs dug out of the closets that rimmed that old gym. Chairs that would be put out this way and then changed to that way, and then back again to the first formation. In short, we didn't know what we were doing. Steadily, slowly, that dirty old gym, sighing with the worn use that comes from one too many bingo games or book groups, was massaged in something that became holy. And those volunteers up on ladders, trying to keep that fabric in place, and the volunteers down on the floor looking for the dropped pin, and the volunteer chair schleppers arranging and rearranging, and the volunteer gophers on the Costco run to get the tiny muffins that would soon thrill midway during our first Rosh Hashanah services, and the volunteers with opinions about which lectern we should use and which one we should stash behind those old curtains on the theater stage, and the volunteers making sure there were Kleenex boxes and Band-Aids and aspirin in the bathrooms, and the volunteers who, yes, the volunteers who birthed us, who became us, and the volunteers who keep birthing us, who keep becoming us. This is exactly how something precious and life-sustaining comes to be, and how that very something gets to stay a while. What we do when we volunteer may be far from creative. Andrea, I'm thinking of the unknotting of hundreds of high holiday lanyards when I say that. But if it's not creative, it is creation. We are creating us for ourselves, our family, and for each other. So we thank you for this recognition for Mark and me. Shabbat Shalom.
Well, Barbara and Mark, we bless you. We thank you. We see you. We know how this community was made, and we know the many, many hands and hearts that were involved in it. And this is my pitch for those who want to really step in, for those who want to step into volunteer leadership positions, to talk to Mark and Barbara, to talk to Andrea, to talk to me. And let's see how we can really help you find a way to engage that will actually not only change our community, but might change you too. Many of you are here in the room who are already doing this in this way. Second, I want to invite up Maya Gillerman. Maya, over the course of the last couple of years, has actually helped birth our teen davening team for younger kids. It's been now running for 2 years on High Holy Days, working really hard with our beloved Rabbi Ronit Sadok and Maya. It gave me so much joy when I would sneak out of this room to go out into the tent and see what was going on outside and just see all of you singing your hearts out. And I know that it meant so much to the community to have you in this role, and we're eager to hear what you have to say tonight, so thank you.
For as long as I can remember, I've been a part of the IKAR community. I grew up going to services, being here on the high holidays, and going to Limudim, and even trying to get out of Limudim. Growing up, I actually quite disliked the kids' programming. I would have chosen to stay with my mom any day rather than being stuck in a classroom. Now, as a teenager, when I had the opportunity to volunteer during the high holidays in said kids' programs, I was eager to take on the role because I wanted to give back to a community that's given so much to so many people, including me. The community that taught me the majority of what I know is now allowing me to help other kids learn and grow the same way I did. Seeing the kids discover and explore new aspects of Judaism helps me get a better understanding of how much Limudim and IKAR can truly impact kids. Being placed with 4th grade taught me more than I could have ever envisioned. I got to know and appreciate them on a deeper and more connected way than I could have ever imagined. I loved watching the kids grow and work through problems themselves. They found fascination in things that they initially never thought were interesting. And it will never cease to amaze me how incredibly intelligent they all are. In addition to kids programming, I also had the privilege of being asked to be on the davening team for the outside high holiday services. There was no hesitation in my answer. The reason for this was because when I would go to services as a child, the most enjoyable part for me was the music and song. And letting others experience that as well brought me so much joy and satisfaction, along with the feeling of being more connected to this community. It really feels like everything came full circle, and I couldn't be more grateful for it. As a member of this expanded community, it's important to explore different roles and responsibilities. And as I grow up, I'm beginning to see how these roles and responsibilities shape the foundations of the IKAR community everyone relies so much on. I would have never guessed that I would go from the kid running, literally, away from Limudim, to becoming the madracha, creating an engaging space where kids are eager to be involved. While I might not have appreciated it in the moment, looking back, IKAR has always been an amazing, nurturing community. And today, I'm incredibly grateful to have been given the opportunity to give back to the community that has always been there for me. I also want to say thank you to all the wonderful people who make IKAR and Limudim in particular so special. Thank you.
All right, Maya, thank you so much. Maya, we're so grateful to you and so proud of you. And Mark, where's Mark? Oh, wow. And also, Maya, I know that your mom would be so proud of you too, and we love her very much too, and think of her all the time. Thank you. You're amazing. I want to invite up Paul Gutricht, and as Paul is making his way up, in honor of Maya, I want to invite people to think about if you could volunteer as a Hebrew tutor or to help out in any way in Limudim. We need a bunch more volunteers in Limudim, so that's something to just think about as we're hearing from Paul. Paul Gutricht is an amazing and beloved member of our community. He's also an incredible volunteer, never says no when he's asked, does all kinds of different things for the community, and always does it with a smile. It's like we feel, it's almost like we're giving you the gift by giving you the opportunity. At least you make us feel that way, and that is just that is so much about your personality, and it actually inspires me to want to give more from myself too when I see you in action. And I'm so moved by who you are, and absolutely love having you and your family in our community. So I introduce to you Paul Gutricht for our third of 4 speakers.
Shabbat Shalom. Yeah? Or, yeah? Okay. Right. There we go. Thank you. Thanks. So I can't remember if the first time I delivered Mishloach Manot was in 2020. But that year, when the pandemic started, I remember I had a very vivid memory of going to an independent living community in Playa Vista. I live in Playa del Rey, and that's a great thing that IKAR does is kind of get you into your neighborhood and figure out what's going to work for you. And I met a woman there, and I was delivering the Mishloach Manot to a lady who was a member and also a grandmother and a great-grandmother of people in our community. And so it was a special moment. And it was COVID, so I didn't get to go in the building, but it was lovely, and I thought, this looks like a great place. So about 1.5 years later, when my father was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer, and he was making a decision about where he wanted to kind of relocate and downshift, he was in Boston for decades, and he was thinking about coming to the West Coast and finding a place, like an independent living place, and the first place I thought of was this building that I only found out about because I was delivering Mishloach Manot for IKAR. So he came out, he checked it out, he toured it, he loved it, and he's been there for about 1 year now. So that's been a great thing. It's a lot of fun delivering these things and delivering the high holiday gift baskets because it's a little bit of sweet stuff and spirituality and community service and connection with everybody, connecting us with our neighbors. Like I said, the convenience piece helps that I'm over there, and so I'm getting to know folks in that area. Another thing that happened in 2020 was we were all apart for the high holidays, and IKAR came up with this fantastic scavenger hunt that kind of blew my mind, and I didn't know exactly what it was going to be, and they asked for volunteers in different parts of town, and so I raised my virtual hand for Playa Vista, and I got an email saying, great, we want you to make a video about the Bayona wetlands. And I thought, what have I got myself into? How am I going to do that? And then I kind of went down to the wetlands and walked around with my son Dante, and he helped me shoot footage and narrate some of it. And then Sasha put all of the images together into this little piece that was about our community and its relationship to the wetlands and to the theme of endurance, which was something that we all really needed then, at least, if not now as well. So that was another great experience. It was a great way to connect and feel connected, even though we were apart, and it was kind of a bridge for when we got to reconnect and start to see each other again, right? One of the other pieces I want to share is that another way I was able to volunteer and continue to volunteer is with our Chevra Kadisha, which is a collection of volunteers and amazing clergy and staff here, supporting our members in their moments of greatest loss and grief, whether it be helping set up a shiva or a meal train or even shmirah. And I cleared it with Rabbi Panitz that I could say this a little bit, which is accompanying the deceased from the time of death to burial. So it's a very holy, very profound experience, and it also, supported me too as I grapple with my own thoughts and wishes and fears about mortality. So that was a great experience that I'll keep doing. Now we keep that anonymous in terms of who we do shmirah for, so that one of the reasons is that there's never a sense of obligation from the family who's grieving. So it's your own personal experience. So That's been incredibly meaningful. Now, that's gotten a little heavy, so I'm going to lighten it up just at the end here, just to say that this place is woven into my life, and it means so much. So I'm grateful for this community and our clergy and our staff and volunteers, and I'm going to continue to volunteer however I can. So Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Paul. And as I said, we just love having you and Sasha and Dante in the community. And we're also holding your father, Jose, in our hearts, and hope that he finds refuah, healing body and spirit. Okay, I hope you're getting the picture here tonight. There's so many different ways to get involved. And one of the things that you might find if you come on Shabbat is Paul standing at the door greeting folks, as Mark has and Barbara have for many, many years also. If you'd like to be a Shabbat greeter, it's one of the really special ways that you can contribute to the community. You also get to really know people. It's a very, very sweet thing to do during the service, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, finally, I'm excited to introduce to you Mel Weisberger, who is an amazing IKAR volunteer in the tribe community, someone who we know we can always count on, who helps beautify our spaces, who helps welcome our guests who come for Shabbat, who's working with the 5K, which is our end of year big fun run that we're doing together to raise funding for to support our Afghan family that's resettling here in Los Angeles. And I hope all of you will either walk or run or contribute or all of those things, or bike. Oh, I didn't know we could do that. Okay. So Mel, we're so thrilled to be able to honor you tonight. So please come on up.
You're so tall, Paul. Okay. Hi. Thank you. I often say that 2 conversions changed my life. One was my conversion to Judaism under the watchful and very kind eye of Rabbi Panitz, and the other was my conversion to oat milk, which at just 60 cents extra seems like an easy sacrifice for creamier plant-based lattes. But I'm actually here to talk about the other one, which is the Jewish one. Yeah. You see, like most people, the pandemic left me feeling lost and isolated, so I started to look for ways to connect with my community. I wanted to meet new people, affect change, and grow myself. What they don't tell you is that once you're out of school, opportunities for learning aren't presented to you on a daily basis. You have to seek out those opportunities. So, onward I sought. When I found IKAR, I discovered it to be so many of the things I had been looking for. Here, I could find passionate people, opportunities to express deep gratitude and joy alongside moments to grieve and reflect. But mostly, I found a community that I wanted to belong to. However, it can be very scary to look at a huge room full of strangers speaking in a language you never learned and turning and facing in directions most millennials like myself would need a compass to find. So I leaned on what I did know, which is I know how to help. I can sort programs, I can pour juice, I can check people in at 5Ks, and I can hang fake vines. I told myself, just sign up, put yourself out there. Because you know a great way to learn names? Literally holding a checklist of names of people who signed up for the 5K. You can even ask for the spelling, and no one will be offended. And what's the easiest way to pick up on those songs? Read the programs you're holding. Slowly but surely, my circle widened, and I found myself humming the songs in the car, and I started to feel more and more comfortable every single time I walked up the stairs to the rooftop. Long before Leslie Knope served the city of Pawnee, my mom was a Parks and Recreation commissioner for the small city that I grew up in. I watched her show up for every meeting and sign up for every festival, no matter how busy or tired she was raising 2 kids, even though one of the kids was me, and as you can imagine, I was basically perfect. Regardless, she did it because she loved her community. She loved the people. And when you love something, you protect it. You help it grow. So sign up, show up. If you've been with the community for years, you know how special this place is. If you're new and feel intimidated, I was you. I still kind of am you, except now I kind of know which way is east. Thank you.
All right. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you to Mel. It's Mel, when you're speaking about your mother, I'm thinking about my parents and how involved they were in their synagogue growing up. And they had this thing called Action Auction every year, which I think my parents ran for like 10 years. And it just totally took over our home. Every inch of our home was filled with all the materials, and they were like diehard. Like, I don't think we observed any Jewish laws, but we observed the laws of Action Auction in our house. That was our Jewish practice. And it like actually left an imprint. And so thank you for sharing that about your mother and your incredible story here. And, we've said for so many years, you can come to IKAR and just stay out on the margins for like literally 18 years. But once you step in, you're going to find a whole new reality. And it's hopefully a home, a spiritual home, and one that can hold us through moments of joy and through moments of grief and hardship. And we love and care for each other. And so I just invite you all to take a step in, if you can, in the way that Mel's describing, the way that Maya and Barbara and Paul are describing, to find the thing that speaks to you and just take a step in. And this didn't all just happen by accident. I mean, some of our volunteers just took it upon themselves and were able to find the right way to do it. But the fact is that over the past almost year, we've had a full-time volunteer, what is your official, community engagement coordinator. And it's the first time that we've had somebody whose job it is to help make it possible to make the connections between people and their special talents and the work that's actually needed at IKAR. And Andrea Van Leeuwen has been working with Svi, is Svi still here? No, okay. Has been working with Svi on our membership team. And the two of them together have dreamt up really incredible ways of making it possible for our community to actually live into our core values and show up for each other the way that we need to. Andrea was hired while I was out on sabbatical, and I've just came back into the community in August, and just have been really blown away and moved to see you in action. And we're so honored to have you be part of this team. And to help each of these volunteers find their way in. And so I just want to invite Andrea to say a very quick word. Yeah, let's do it. Let's give Andrea a big round of applause. We have such good people. So Andrea's going to say a word and then maybe introduce us to our dessert too.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Thank you so much for coming tonight. I'm guessing you all got my emails. I'm really happy about that. I'm just really, really grateful for you all. I'm also new to the community, and every single person in this room has been amazingly welcoming. It doesn't matter if I'm staff or here, to experience Judaism in the way that I experience Judaism. I feel like part of the family, and I'm really, really happy about that. And I just want to thank each and every one of our High Holy Day volunteers. You guys just helped so much. We couldn't have pulled any of this off without you. So thank you so much. Can we get another round of applause for all our volunteers? We will have many, many more opportunities to help out throughout the year. Feel free to reach out to me via email or phone. I've got some cards I can give you, or check out ikar.org/volunteer to see our current volunteer opportunities. Or, just come say hi if you want to connect if we hadn't had a chance to yet. I'd love to get to know more of you. So thank you so much. And with that, I'm going to cut the cake from Delise Bakery.
Okay, so there's fruit over here and cake over here, so this is a binary. Okay, okay, you can have both, but we're going to all see which one you go for first. That's the thing. And so I just want to say on behalf of Melissa, who's in New York this weekend and really didn't want to miss this moment, on behalf of all of our clergy, and our whole staff. We're so grateful to this beautiful community and to all of our amazing volunteers. So please enjoy the rest of your night. If folks can help us by just bringing your dishes, thank you to Marina and to the whole team from Del Cielo for making this beautiful, sweet, vegan Thanksgiving. We're going to help them out, and by bringing all of our dishes, we can bus our dishes over here on the side. And please feel free to come get some cake and some fruits. We wish you all Shabbat Shalom and thank you.